The way I understand it is, and that's why I'm going to make the comment that I'm going to make, they have agreed to fund something like $15,000 of the project.
Right.
And the way I understand it is that the total project's going to be around $30,000. That's the number. Those are the numbers.
That's what was thrown out at our meeting.
Yes. So that being the case, I think this is such an important issue. And even when I was on the Recreation Commission, I felt the same way. That if the county does not approve the $15,000 extension, we're really looking at $7,500 per municipality for this very, very important structure out there. I think we should think about moving forward on this thing, whether they extend it, give it to us, because I mean, the constraints were so ridiculous where we were trying to move and make all kinds of, we want to do it right, rather than have the county steer our vehicle. We need to make sure, because it's going to be there a long time.
Yes.
We want to make sure we do it right. So really, it's nice that they will give us the grant, and I hope they will, and I can't believe they wouldn't. But if they didn't, or they put restrictions where we would have to do it for 30 or something, I think we should think about it, at least just moving forward on this thing without...
If we do it without following their guidelines, you lose their money. I mean,
Right.
they'll rescind the money.
So what I'm saying, yeah.
Well, I mean, but maybe we
Yeah.
can get agreement with them that they'll change the guidelines.
Right.
We can put it
Yeah.
out,
Right.
and then we're great.
And then we'd be
If
fine.
not-
Yeah.
If not, we just, I think what Carol's saying, let's do it anyway.
Let's just move forward on this thing because we're so far into it, and I think it's so necessary.
Yeah, but I'm not in disagreement with you, but I
Okay.
don't understand exactly what you're proposing. Everybody wants them to have the bathroom out there, but
Right.
what you're saying, if we move forward on this tomorrow,
When I say move forward, I'm talking about getting the information, getting discussion as to how everybody feels, rather than say, okay, we're going to wait for the county. I think, regardless of their
Fine.
decision, I think we should just keep moving forward on the project itself.
fine.
The Recreation Commission should keep moving forward on this project, and we already have a tentative location that you looked at, so that's a piece of the puzzle. We already are talking about forced account. That's a big piece of the puzzle and a big financial concern. So now we're just talking about the structure of the building and the county's participation. Well, if they do it, they don't,
George, do we know when we're gonna,
you know?
hear back from the county on?
The village board passed a resolution, we passed it a couple weeks back.
Right.
Bonnie Majewski took the paperwork over to the county today, she hand delivered it. And we're waiting for a word. But Phil, on your point,
Yeah.
I think the county, I mean, let's say for argument's sake, it cost us $60,000.
Right.
The county's gonna give us 15, period.
No matter what.
Yeah. So
Right.
if we wanted to build something, more elaborate, or it cost more,
Right.
or whatever it was, and we all get our collective head here together, we could really spend as much money as we want. The county doesn't care.
No, what Phil is saying is that
No,
we have
that's
a, no, we're not talking about that.
We
We're
approved
talking about
the specs of
It
it.
went from a restroom and a pavilion to a restroom.
Right.
Oh, yes,
And so, we agree with the restroom,
Right.
not a $60,000 restroom. If they'll give us 15 for it, and we put 15, we got it.
Right.
Okay.
I think
Okay,
that's,
that's it.
I think that's essentially the plan, and then the other part of the paperwork was to get an extension.
Yes,
Right.
It
Well,
had
that's
to-
the key.
It had to be done by the end of November, I
Right.
believe, originally, and we're asking for an extension, because it couldn't possibly be done in
No,
a month.
it's unreasonable, and that's why I said whether they go or they...
When is the plan to do it? In the spring?
Yeah, I would think now, yes, this way.
Okay. Well, we've got time to find out what the county's gonna do then.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're doing connections and stuff now,
Yeah.
get the other services opening now.
That's the county wants done by November.
No, if this
November 30th.
Over the DPW, that's
20th or whatever.
Right.
To find
My,
out.
that's slide on.
Yeah, maybe we could get this done before the ground.
Yeah, you put
Well,
the, you put the pipe of service, in, get your electrical services, two points down in the spring, you're not much further ahead, if we agree that we want to do it with it, without the county's on.
That's what I
thought, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, do it without it. If they say no, we should just keep moving forward with this project. I mean, we've got forced account agreement between the two municipalities. We have a tentative location picked out. We have the support, the Recreation Commission has asked us to do this. I think it's a great idea, if everybody else does. let's just keep working on it. The county will either give us the money or it won't, but I don't think that that should be the deciding factor. Whether if they don't give us that grant, or we can't make it in time, or there are too many restrictions, then we shouldn't stop the project. I think the project should go.
Yeah. But the electrical service is on too far, you can
Right.
transfer the electrical service. I mean,
Right.
why force count put the pipe in, you don't want to do the electrical work.
Right.
Well, see, I bet you that Mike and Steve already know when they're gonna put the line in.
Yeah, I'm
Maybe
sure.
in 3 weeks or
Yeah,
so, who knows?
yeah.
They'll be in by the time the building's, okay.
So I'm
Get 'em over.
I'm agreeing with that.
You're gonna save a lot of money that way.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my 2 cents.
So I guess at this particular point, we have to wait until whether or not we get positive word back from the county.
Yes.
For the money part.
And then proceed.
Yeah,
Well, that-
no, it's the money
I
part.
think we're pretty much in agreement that it is important.
Where and what? So,
Yeah.
I know Kevin Armistead and Trish Sherlock have done a lot of work on this type of thing, and would be advisable if they have anything that they want to say in reference to that, to give us, I mean, we pretty much...
On the bathrooms, on the subject of...
On the bathrooms, yeah. We're kind of, you know, talking here, we think...
Things here, I guess they moved the location a little closer to Craigville Road, and that can...
Yes.
I mean, I can understand where Mike would be on that, those leaves. You know, we have the manpower in place to do the building. I mean, I think our next move from the Recreation Commission would be a bill of materials pricing, so we would have some competitive numbers on the material. I mean, the sooner the better to move, that's for sure. I agree with you guys. Sometimes winter's better time to dig when the ground's frozen up, because you know, knowing some of the water lines and sewer lines in the village here, you could go down 6 feet, 8 feet in some locations to hit them. And I just have a question. Was Mike talking about bringing the sewer and water line onto the property?
Yeah.
In other words, he would do the tap and then bring the line onto the property, and then we got to pick it up from there.
Yeah.
And do we have any cooperation at that point with the town helping us out there with?
No, between Steve and Mike, they're gonna dig the ditch from Craigville all the way to the
Lay the
location of
pipes
the
right to the
building.
building.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Has anyone made application or notification to the health department? I mean, you can't build the bathroom without notifying the health department.
Yeah, we would have to get a permit,
Yeah,
okay?
and that I suggest,
That would
get
go to
into
Ted
the word
Lewis.
pronto.
Because it's on village property, we go to Ted Lewis. Ted Lewis would have to do all the notification from there.
That's because Kevin's not gonna be working out in the trench for those poor guys who work out in the cold, you know. You're not getting that spring climate, thank you. You engineers are all the same.
Trench for the water pipe, can you do the trench for the...
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Those car hearts come in handy.
Well, addressing the water issue,
Back to it.
I was told that the water came to where the fountain was going to be, which is kind of the central location there. So then from there, but then there's a water fountain too, up closer to where this bathroom is going to be. So I would assume
think
then
that,
the
yeah.
water line had to come up to there too. But I guess my question is does the water line then have to come from where the fountain is, or maybe just from where the drinking fountain is into
Well,
where
the
the
concern, I
septic
think,
is?
is, George, is the condition of whatever water lines may be in there. You know, I mean, if there was a water line going to that building, it could have been there since 19...
I think
No, I think this was a new water line that came into the fountain on the park.
Oh, okay.
Right, so that's good. I mean, we're definitely good to there, but I don't know whether we're good even further up.
But you could top off twice in different spots.
I think we're closer to Craigville.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, that fountain, we pipe it up.
And Mike was saying he didn't know whether that line was big enough. You know, it could serve a water fountain, but it might not be able to serve a bathroom.
Yeah, so it may have to come from the fountain area down by the circular area
More
there.
down, you cut across the finished portion of the park. Did Mike cut in, when he put those fountains in, that was a new water line he brought in off of?
Yeah.
Right. Because the water in the building, that 3-inch galvanized pipe that came into the building is shut off and has been disconnected. That was in one of the reports here, so that's been out of commission for a while. So Mike had made a new tap already in line, the question is what size?
What size, that's what
If he did a half-inch tap, it probably wouldn't do it. If he did a 1-inch or a 3/4-inch tap, then I'd have to size it, it might get close.
You don't use galvanized
Then that just makes the project a little cheaper, because
Yeah.
we're going to grab the line a lot quicker.
Yeah.
We'll use PVC.